Hey, what's going on? This is Adam Castillo at RGS Performance Motorcycles.
That's all it took? You son of a bitch. I'm the media guy. Chris, what's up? Today we're going to talk to you guys about what a tune actually does. I got Adam. You're trained in how many?
3 now. Yep, we did Dyno Jet, Thundermax, and Trask. So tuned all across the board.
So that's just a little bit of an offering that RGS does for their customers. All right, so what's a tune? What does it do? Why does it matter?
So a tune is just adjusting your bike's behavior. You know, if it's asking for more fuel in certain ranges, we can feed it more fuel. If it needs less fuel or less timing in certain areas, we can adjust that. From factory, it's basically just a cookie cutter. You know, this model, this year, every bike has the exact same settings, parameters. Even, low RPM ranges up to 5,200, whatever it is. But it's important because not everyone rides the same. Not everyone wants to go the same top speed. And a lot of people have aftermarket parts, cam chest kits, big board kits. Even just larger throttle bodies and air cleaners.
All right, so what's air fuel ratio? What does it mean? Why does it matter? Should I care as a customer?
Yeah, so the AFR is just the air fuel ratio. That's how much fuel and air that your bike needs at any given point. So at the idle range, all the way up through wide open throttle, whether it's 6,200 RPM, 6,500 RPMs, your bike wants more fuel depending on how much air is coming into the bike. So yeah, it's just fine tuning it depending on what the bike needs at any given point.
And then would this matter for the type of engine that I have? If it's an M8 or...
Yeah, so depending on M8 twin cam, and then like I said, idle range through wide open throttle. If you want it around 13 AFR, if it needs more fuel, it'll ask for more fuel and we'll feed it.
So it's pretty simple. I mean,
Yeah.
So as the marketing guy here, I'll go and I'll watch these guys work. But I mean, you guys are plugging in pretty much every sensor to that computer so you guys can read it from tip to butt.
Yeah.
And really fine tune, like you said, where the ranges are. So, I mean, me being novice to this, I see you guys working with curves and all that stuff on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all fine tuning your open throttle, or is that per gear, RPM ranges? What does all that do?
Yeah, it's you start off in a low gear for the low ranges, 17, 2000, pop it up to 4th gear, and then RPM ranges from 1700 all the way up to the max. We usually set it depending on the cam and the motor, 61, 6500 RPMs, and take it from there. I mean, throttle range is from 5%, 5% all the way up to 100% wide open throttle, and the AFR reading needs to be smooth, all the way across.
Okay. And so you said the factory tune runs lean.
Yeah.
What exactly does that mean?
Basically, your bike just needs more fuel. When it's running lean like that, especially at higher throttle ranges, your bike's going to be overheating. It's not...
Keep going.
Yeah. It's not necessarily getting enough fuel. When you have a tune in there, you can see exactly what the bike's asking for. If it's increasing it by 10, 15%, you know that you need more fuel across the board.
All right, so how does timing factor into a tune?
It's one of those things that is noticeable. We've had bikes come in with either, the wrong map or, a bad tune. And we've had bikes shooting flames on the dyno or just pinging, as soon as you get up to 3,000 RPMs, you hear that ding, 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 ding. And yeah, it's just a time bomb, you know.
Okay. So shooting flames isn't always good.
Yeah, it's not good unless you have a flamethrower kit, which we've done. Yeah, you
We'll
don't.
insert a clip here.
Yeah, you don't want yeah, you don't want flames unless you have a flame kit.
Okay. And then as far as throttle response, how much does a tune affect something like that?
Exponentially, you know, depending on what kit you have in there. If you have stock, there's only so much throttle response you can get. But anytime you do cam chest kit, throttle body, even an exhaust, aftermarket exhaust, 2-into-1, everything will perform better than stock. But throttle response is more immediate, you know. And even if you're not hauling ass, you're not drag racing, you still want that get up, getting on the freeway, passing a 18-wheeler, just hit it and power's there. You don't have to worry about any lag.
Okay. Okay. So essentially, power isn't always the goal, but what's some of the byproduct of power? What does that factor into the bike for? Like you said, drag racing or getting on the freeway. Do I want a 200 horsepower bike right off the bat?
Yeah, it's all dependent on the rider. You know, I myself don't need to be going 150, but more power to the guys that do. You know, I'm perfectly happy with my early 2000s twin cam. You know, I can hit 120 easy, but I'm cruising at like 95 on the freeway. You know,
And it's comfortable.
and it's comfortable. Yeah, it's all about what your bike can handle and what the rider can handle. Anytime you're hitting those high speeds, yeah, you're going to be upgrading suspension, your brakes. There's a lot that goes into those big horsepower builds other than the motor.
All right. So do you guys do a lot of turbos here at the shop?
We do a lot of turbos. As far as I know, we're the only pro dealer in the area for Thunder Max. So basically, we're the only ones that can put it up on a dyno and tune it. We've seen some turbos come in with just, base map from Thunder Max, and it's just lacking, you know. Putting it on a dyno and actually isolating all of those RPM ranges, throttle ranges, that's a fine tune. Nothing wrong with the Thunder Max base map. You put in the miles, and it will eventually compensate for all those ranges. But on a dyno, you can hit all those ranges in a few hours, and it's tuned at every range, anywhere you can hit on the road.
I know we keep saying tune, but it really is you're fine tuning the computers to make sure has that fuel air ratio, make sure it has a suspension for it, and you want it to cruise and glide over the streets, all the potholes and the wonderful roads we have here in town, right?
Oh yeah.
Is there anything that you'd recommend to? I just bought a brand new bike. I come to you guys. What would you recommend to start with?
For power,
Power.
yeah, for power. Right out of the gate, it's all customer dependent. If they just want a little more get up and go, drop in an S&S 475 cam chest kit. It's never a bad idea to upgrade the oil pump, cam chain tensioners, lifters, push rods, and then it just depends on how much power they want. These brand new 117s coming out of Harley are great. They perform great. But if you drop a cam in there, you get that unlimited power. We do a lot of cyclorama cams, star cams, and a whole lot of S&S and fueling. So it all just depends on what the customer wants and needs and how fast they want to go. This is Adam at RGS. We're here for your bike's needs. We're factory trained through DynoJet, Thunder Max, Trask, and Techno Research. So even if you have a stock bike or a 132 kit with a turbo, we're here. We're trained. We've got the dyno set up. All you need is an appointment, and we will get it squared away. Get your bike performing as best as it possibly can to suit your needs.
That's it.
Sweet.
See how easy that was?
Oh man.